Hey there everybody, this is Jamie with Music Production Headquarters. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what is a compressor and how does it work. So we'll get right to it. We'll start right away right in here. I'm just working in a Pro Tools session right now that I recorded a while ago. As you can see, it's just basically a drum setup, kick, snare bottom, room. It was just some drums I took care of, and I went ahead and highlighted a section that I got going on here. And I wanted to kind of go over what is a compressor, well, showing you with some drums in a Pro Tools session. So first off, what is a compressor? We're looking at a basic, terminology for a compressor would be it's something that reduces the dynamic range of the source material. What I mean by that, think about the lows of a sound, the noise floor, and the top of it. It basically shrinks that down so there's less dynamic range with the actual compressor. As we go through, we'll show you what that means. What I'm going to go ahead and doing here is I'm just going to go into one of the more basic compressors, which is the Dyne 3 compressor limiter. I'm going to instantiate that right on there on the kick. I'm going to go ahead and solve this real quick here. You can kind of hear the kick right here. It's not great, it's not bad. I'll bypass real quick so you can hear without it. A little more, you can hear right there, there's more range. But before we play with these parameters, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what they are. So with that being said, let's take a look at it right here, the ratio. You look at the ratio, it's kind of the degree at how hard the compressor is going to work. It's going to be, 3 times compared to what it was at 4 times, 5 times. A general starting point, I'll start usually between 2 to 1 or 4 to 1. We'll go to attack. That's how quickly it goes to work. So once it goes past the threshold, which on this compressor you can see it's right here, it'll tell you, the attack will be how quickly it actually goes to work. The release is how quickly it stops work. Thresholds, the easiest way to explain that is when does the compressor go to work. Well, as you can see, if I adjust the threshold, you see down here, that's going to tell the compressor to go to work much further down on the bottom of the noise floor versus the top. You can kind of see going up there to the bottom, and the knee is basically how quickly it transitions from not compressing to compressing. And you'll see on the top end here how that's kind of slanted. It's showing me right at the threshold when it starts going to work. It'll go ahead and shift up and over, and right there it's kind of gradual. But if I increase that knee, that should. If I increase it, I'm spoken correctly. It's going to go a little more gradually versus the knee. It's going to make it go much more. I guess it'll transition much quicker, so that's my apology. The wrong direction on the actual parameter, so that way you can see it's going to transition a little more smoothly. The sound may be more musical, maybe it's for a particular sound that you're going for, versus if you wanted to quickly transition right over right away. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we'll play with this kick for just a second to give you kind of an idea of what I'm talking about. We'll try each parameter and kind of sweep it across the kick to kind of get you a feel for what that might sound like. Once again, all this is subjective to your own ears. Take a listen to what you like, what you hear, and also in relation to what it sounds like with the entire kit that's in place. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and just start pushing that kick. One other thing I should mention, you can see over here the in and out. That's the volume that's going in, volume that's going out. You have this thing that's called GR, always known as gain reduction, showing you how much gain is being actually reduced on the compressor. So you can see it's quite a bit of gain reduction, which may be desired, may not. But you can, and I'll bypass just the general settings right here. Here's the difference. You can see it's more dynamic, a little more punchy with this compressor. So with that being said, probably the chance what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the threshold up a little bit. So I want a little more of that punchy kind of attack out of it. With the attack, I'm probably going to lower that down a little bit. Somewhere, let's say, kind of listening to it. Kind of want to attack a little bit there. You can hear a little bit what's going on there. Release, I'm also going to do that pretty quick because when I'm thinking of this kick drum, I'm thinking, okay, it's hitting, releasing, and I don't want, to sit. If you let it sit completely open, you're going to see in the gain reduction, it's pretty much going to sit open. So the compressor's always working. You don't really want that. So if I shift it over, think about kind of how that kick is. It's real quick in and out. get a little closer. The ratio really, that's gonna be your flavor. I mean, if you go too high on the ratio, I'll give you an example. See how much gain reduction is happening, and that's not very musical by any means. I mean, if it works for the desired sound you want to go for, go ahead and do it. That's cool. But for me, I'm usually starting off somewhere in the 2 to 3 range. It's kind of the knee. I kind of want to let it transition a little bit easier, a little bit more smoother. And I think looking at this right here, I think I can lower that threshold a little bit. If I go ahead and put that in relation to, I'm going to take the overheads real quick, I'm going to move this all the way. I'm going to take a listen to that with the overheads, it's left and right. I do have to pan those over. So you're going to hear that real quick, those pans happening, so you got the left and right overhead. I actually kind of like that. I'm going to raise that up just a little bit. If I were to throw the snare, for example, take a listen to it. I'm going to unsolo those real quick. It's definitely hitting a little harder at right there versus where I have it. I think I could do a little more work with it because I would like a little more punchy. And that's just going to be playing around with these parameters to get them where you want. Another good starting point would be if you're not sure where to start exactly, you can actually go ahead and take a look at what presets, now all sorts of different compressors, regardless if you're using Logic or Pro Tools or Ableton or anything, Reaper. You like the, okay, maybe you have more of a thump. That definitely does sound good, actually. And they went a little bit higher in the ratios. You can see it 5-1, so it's working a little higher. The knees is a little softer, you can see on the end there. The attack, still pretty quick, like I said. Release, pretty quick. Threshold, they decided to raise it up because they just wanted to kick a little bit more, which there's nothing wrong with that. And they raised the gain just a little bit. Something to be careful of, the gain, just because it's louder doesn't necessarily mean it sounds better. But, I mean, that covers all the basics with the kick. We'll go ahead and do one more with the snare real quick here, and we'll get out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. What I'm going to do with this one, just to start with it, in Pro Tools, if you hold the Option key and you click, you can actually drag your plugin over to the next item, or the next track, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and start just here. I know it's the kick setting. So, and once again, the kick, or I should say the snare, is going to be similar to the kick because it's a pretty quick attack. I'm going to even make this a little quicker, but I'm going to go ahead and lower that threshold. And it doesn't sound quite right. So you can kind of hear, let's bypass real quick. I'm going to adjust the ratio just a little bit. You shouldn't have too, that's even quite a bit of gain reduction right there. Once again, it depends on the sound, what you're going for. I mean, even that's not bad. But let's listen with the snare, or kick, I should say. Raise that up, it's not too bad. If I actually add in the overheads real quick. You can hear the kick's a little loud, and that would be something where I would do with the mix a little bit, drop that, don't make that blend in. There we go, you can kind of hear the snare and kick going there. But anyways, I just wanted to give you kind of a brief introduction to how a compressor works and what it is. I think I've got a general idea going here. We got, like a kind of a brief, I guess, review. We got the knee, we got the ratio, release, attack, gain, and threshold. So you're going to see those, they're going to be pretty common on all compressors. I hope everything's going well for you in your music production. If you like this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I will be doing more videos like this. And if you you haven't yet, check out musicproductionheadquarters.com where I have tons of tips and tricks to make your music production easy. Thank you. This is Jamie. You guys have a great day. Bye.